Hi guys, just wait for people to join. I've got my earphones in today so I can hear. Cool, everyone's coming, that's excellent. Let's just wait a moment and I'm just going to get up Bou Cou Dancewear now. So just an introduction, welcome to the stream. Today we'll be speaking to Bou Cou Dancewear and they are a Nikolai retailer, of course. And this is a series that we're doing with Meet the Nikolai Retailer. In fact, I prefer just one of these in. One moment. So let's get Candace up now. And let me know that you guys can hear me okay, by the way. Yay!
Hello!
Hi!
I'm about to switch the camera. Okay.
Oh my God, you got your little dog. Oh.
Yes, we have our shop mascot with us today. This is Velma, and I'm Candace.
Oh, so sweet. We'll wait for a few more people to join before we start. Let's just hang it up. Oh, hi, Arena. Hi, Brooke. Hey, everyone that's joining. So, for you guys that have just joined, we are joined today by Candace, and she runs Bou Cou Dancewear. If you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your store.
All right. Well, we're located in my Montgomery, Alabama store. I have 3 stores total. So we have a small store in the Art Center in Andalusia, Alabama, and we have another large store in Fort Walton Beach, Florida.
Oh, fabulous.
We're a full dance retailer, so we of course have shoes and tights and leotards and all of those things, but also costumes, and we even do custom costuming.
Oh, nice. So what store are you at right now?
We're in Montgomery, Alabama today.
Fantastic. So would you like to show us a little bit around your store?
Sure. As you can see behind me, we have samples of some of our pointe shoes, our ballroom, tap and jazz, and all of those things.
Cool.
Carry lots and lots of fashion leotards. All different manufacturers. Show a lot of them with their pretty backs.
Nice.
See up above as well on mannequins. We have lots of. We show most of our leotards with skirts, so you have ideas on how to pair things. You know, a lot of our dancers have been enjoying the longer, more professional look skirts. So these are.
Oh yes, that looks really nice.
Yes. And then behind me over here is our kids section. Leotards with skirts and some without, and lots of fun things. And you could probably see on the wall over there, we have lots and lots of glittery dance bags and dolls and, you know, all kinds of plush. If it doesn't come with a skirt on it, we put a skirt on it. You can put a tattoo on it.
I love it.
Walking around here, you can kind of see out into our courtyard a little bit. We're like a little piece of New Orleans set down here in Montgomery. We have brick and ironwork and plants, and so it's kind of an older but a very charming area. And of course, we have warm-ups and jazz pants and bra tops and lots and lots of dance bags and competition wear and anything imaginable to make a pointe shoe fit better. We really
fantastic.
Being excellent fitters, maybe not as experienced and wonderful as you, of course, but
oh God, I don't know about that.
Get the girls a fabulous fit, and we have
always learning. It's like no one ever knows like the whole everything about ballet and pointe shoes, and that's what I like, because you're always learning and there's always opportunity to grow as a business, right?
Right. Oh, I feel every time, every person I come in contact with, I learn something, whether it's a dancer that I'm helping to overcome a problem, or whether I'm working with, you know, one of our vendors or another retailer. I can always learn something new every day.
Absolutely. So how long have you been stocking Nikolai products for?
We've been in business here for 13 years, and we've been, honestly, in the beginning, I didn't do any pointe shoes. I started out just with apparel, and did a lot of research into pointe shoes, and then we launched into pointe shoes. So we've had pointe and the Nikolais for, I guess, 11 and a half, 12 years now. And my store in Florida is actually one that I purchased from someone else who had been in business for 30 years. So
oh wow,
overall, the Bou Cou group of stores has a much longer relationship.
sure. So in terms of Nikolai pointe shoes, what would you say are your top selling models?
The now the new 3007, of course, used to be 2007, is probably the number one. We do quite a few Novas and Nova Flexes as well.
Nice.
And some Miracles, and we've been playing a little bit with the Smart Points. So,
fantastic.
Yeah.
So with regarding to pointe shoe fitting itself, what would you say that dancers who might fancy coming for their first pointe shoe fitting with you guys, how they should prepare themselves for their first fitting?
All right. Well, hopefully their teacher has given them permission to go on pointe. All right, so that we know that we're ready to start. When they come to the store, we advise them to have their toenails clipped, be wearing either their tights or loose fitting stretchy clothing so that they can stretch out and do all the things I ask them to do. You can see here in our fitting area that we have mirror and bar and mat.
Lovely.
Can you see my ballerina and helper Karen over here filming?
Hi. Hello.
That when a dancer first comes in, and we do a lot of measuring, and we keep a card on each one of our dancers.
Fantastic.
With not just a length measurement, but a width. And we really analyze their foot before we ever bring out a pair of shoes for them.
I like that.
Have them come barefoot to the bar, and I have them rise onto dummies so that I can see how high their arch is and what they can do before they're in a pointe shoe. I have them tendu and point to the side so I can see what kind of point and what do their toes do. Do the toes?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
They just
absolutely important.
Over, or do they clump into a little ball? Into a little ball.
I totally feel you. We see it all right as fitters.
So we do all of that, and then we start bringing out shoes, and then let the dancer go up in them and see, if we're seeing the same things once they're in the shoe as we saw.
Of course, that's very important. So tell me a bit about the kind of dancers you fit. Do you fit everybody from beginner to professional level? What kind of dancers do you get into your stores?
We truly get everybody. So we do lots and lots of beginners. Most of our studios around the areas of our stores will have us sometimes do group fittings for the new classes that are going on pointe. So we do everybody going up. We get what I call lots of problem feet, because they know that we'll spend the time and work with a dancer and figure out.
Yeah, that's so crucial. Oh my goodness. I get the similar. I get some people that have been elsewhere, for example, and they've either been put in the wrong shoe and they're in a lot of pain, or they've got a problem that other people don't know how to solve, which is quite sad. So it's always crucial. It's always nice when you can help somebody out, right, and get them out of that pain.
Oh, definitely. And, I just, I love the challenge of it, and working with the girls and figuring out not just a pointe shoe that works, but the best pointe shoe for them at the stage that they're at. Because some girls will find, kind of from the very beginning, will find their shoe and wear it through their dance career. And other dancers will seemingly want to change shoes every time they come for a fitting. And I do like a dancer to stay sometimes in a shoe for more than than just one time in the model, unless there's a crucial problem, because I think sometimes it takes a little bit to break that shoe in and get comfortable with it and where your center of gravity is. But I don't want to stay in a shoe where it's causing pain and blisters, or really not get over their box or do their turns or whatever it is their issue is. And you ask what other kinds of dancers. We go all the way through professional dancers. We've been very fortunate where our stores are. We have professional companies, and I learn a lot working with professional dancers, because sometimes they come to me with a lot of knowledge, and I can work with them, but I also can many times help them. I've seen so many feet over time and worked with so many different kinds of shoes, and we can find just the right one to make them truly dance their best. And also, sometimes they think only one point shoe is what they need, and sometimes we need a different point shoe depending on the type of choreography that we're doing.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. I always like to, even with the dancers in training as well, like to chat with them and understand where they are with their technique and what their teacher has said about them in class, for example. And from that information, that can really help me choose their next shoe as well. I also like to understand a little bit more about, what role they're going to be dancing, if they're doing a performance. And also, don't you find it's very interesting learning about lifespan of the shoe as well, and how it's different for everybody?
Yes, indeed. And, I always ask the girls, I chat a lot when I'm fitting, and what's your next performance coming up? What roles are you doing next? You're doing the pas. Okay, so we need we need a shoe that's really going to get you on your leg and very stable for that. You're doing more modern choreography. Well, maybe we need a shoe that's a little bit more flexible, that will show the articulation of the foot while you're on stage.
Absolutely. So if anybody's watching that, maybe isn't obviously there's people watching that aren't point shoe fitters. I just want to put in that it's so crucial, you guys, to get fitted, and your feet change, your strength changes, your technique. So please don't just assume that, you're going to stay in that same like strength shoe, for example, because some dancers need different strength shoes for different things. So please go and get checked out.
Yes.
So what would you say when you're fitting point shoes? What would you say are the kind of typical kind of challenges that sometimes you face with either dancers or the teachers themselves?
Okay, well, one thing we find when we have a foot that is extremely flexible, many times the girls don't have the strength.
Yes, so true.
Truly hold themselves up and really, be on their box. Sometimes they're twisting, they're sickling in the shoe, they're replacing their shoes more often than I feel like they maybe really need to, because they need that hard shoe to hold them up. And so in that case, we sell a lot of training tools, and so I want them working with flexibility bands. I want them doing exercises. I want them doing lots of releves.
It's because like with social media, I find that sometimes some girls get a bit insecure about their feet. They're like, oh, I don't have a high arch, and they obsess about these really bendy feet. But even through my experience, the dancers with those kind of feet, I often end up doing special orders, but also they don't have a lot of the strength to go with it. So sometimes I even recommend that they go and see a dance physio to get additional help with that, right? Because I feel that in this day and age, a lot of dancers are very obsessed about getting what I call banana feet. And, they should work with what they've got and utilize that.
Yes. And, if we have a foot that is flatter and has a little bit more difficulty arching over, then we choose a shoe that will help them to arch forward.
Absolutely.
Those feet tend to be a little stronger, and so they don't have some of the issues that the really bendy feet do.
Absolutely, I agree. So do you stock any of other Nikolai products like dancewear or accessories?
We certainly do. In fact, one item that's been really hot for us during our little cooler weather has been the new Nikolai.
Oh, I love the heat retention wear.
I love these. We've got a little black one hiding back here too. But
nice.
I love this burgundy color. It's such a pretty shade on everybody. And we also have over here, because we walk across that store again. Up here high on our model as one of the really, really stunning.
Oh yes, from the Dream collection.
Little metallic details on it and on the skirt. And so we're excited now that we're buying directly from Nikolai in Europe and having
absolutely
get all of these really fun leotards and warm-ups and other products.
So have you found that by being a Nikolai retailer that now you've got so much more access to amazing products from our ranges?
Yes, I'm really excited. I'm being able to learn lots more about some of the models of shoes we've not used in the past, and of course then we have all of these fun products. Oh, and we have a Nikolai bootie up here too.
Oh yes, of course, the booties do really well.
Yes, and dancers, those we can order in, it must be like 20 plus colors, I think it is. We have swatches of the fabric that they come in, and so you can get all kinds of, it's almost like a custom bootie because you can choose your color and we'll order that in for you.
Fantastic. Someone just asked a question. Is there another place in London where you can get fitted for Grushko? Yes, there is. There's in Drury Lane, there's a shop there called Dancewear. However, they only do a few models. I'm only 30 minutes from London, so feel free to come to me. I do travel all over the UK as well. But remember, guys, if you've got a retailer in Europe or even in America, be sure if you want to try other models, don't be afraid to ask your retailer to get them in stock to try. Yeah, let's just scroll through these, see if I've missed anything, just in case. One moment.
We're always happy to order in shoes for people too, because we have literally thousands of shoes in stock, but that mean that we have the exact style and size.
Of course.
In the door, and we're happy to order in for people.
That's good news, because sometimes I get like emails from, you can imagine I get emails from all over the world asking for help with their shoes and stuff. So I try to find them, the nearest Nikolai retailer to help them. And then some of them say to me, oh, well, I did ask them to get and they wouldn't get it in. I was like, well, don't be afraid to put it out there. If you want to try something, you should be able to try it, So, obviously being in England, I can't, help them a great deal. I want them to be fitted by somebody in person. So with the 3007, personally, I've really loved that. It's been a massive, incredible change for me personally. It has all the different changes to it that I wanted from the original 2007. How about you with your 3007s? How have you found them to be selling to your customers at the moment?
I think that, some just seamlessly went across and didn't even notice the difference, if you will. They were happy with their 2007 and they're happy with their 2007. Other dancers that maybe, weren't 100% pleased with 2007 for whatever reason have really enjoyed how the heel and the sides are fitting and the gripping, little extra material in the heel that kind of hugs. I think it's been some really nice changes. I like how the shoe looks on the foot. I think it's been very
absolutely. I'm just going to grab one out to show people on this stream that might not have seen it before, and speak a little bit about it. So here's 3007 here. For those of you guys who maybe missed the YouTube video I did about them, let's just talk you through them. So it's built on 2007 last. So we have the same shape, but what's the improvements are is we have a much sleeker appearance with the satin here, as you can see. And we have a nice curved heel that sits more smooth on the heel. Then we have the nice microfiber lining in the heel piece here, which is great for keeping on the heel more so. What I've personally found as well is the cut of the side cord is a little bit lower, so it's more sleeker on the foot.
It really is. It really hugs, where there was a little more, sometimes just a little too much fabric along the side for some feet before. Now it really, especially once the ribbon and elastic are on and the drawstring is pulled up, it really gives a
absolutely. It makes a big difference, because I've got like really slender heels, and I found that in the 3007 it sits so much better on my heel. Next up we have the paste. It's changed. It's not as stiff as 2007, but it's not like mega flexy like Nova. It's like in between, and it's very comfortable, I found personally. Next up, the platform is more generous. It's got more kind of height to it. It's more rounded, and I find that beautiful for balance, because even though I wear a 1X width, if I wear the 1X in 2007, the platform does not feel as rounded and balanced as the 3007. So that was a really welcome change. I also really enjoyed the fact that the shank is so much more easier to roll through. So the demi point area, I don't know if anyone's watching has worn a 2007. In say a classic medium shank in 2007, the demi point took a little bit of work before it was pliable. Whereas now in the 3007, the shank is so much more smoother. So you really get that beautiful articulation.
And I'm not sure what size shoe that you're displaying. The one I have in my hand is actually a 4X.
Oh, wow.
A lot of very wide shoes, especially out of my Florida store. You think about it, it's a beachy area. People wear flops a lot of the time. Their feet tend to spread out. So I see wider feet in that area. So I do lots of 4X and 5X.
Yeah, same actually. Freya just asked if you can get them in England. At the moment, I'm the only, as far as I know, the only retailer with them in stock. So I do ship as well. So feel free to contact me. I can give you some assistance. And if you want to fit in with me in person, I'm in Essex next to London, but I travel everywhere as well. Anyways, also, yeah, regarding wide feet, this is another important topic that I want to talk about. And that's the fact that sometimes people can be a bit put off by Briscoes. They think, oh, but I've heard they're for narrow feet. Well, like you've just said, you fitted wide feet. I get a lot of wide feet. In fact, like you in the 3007, I tend to fit a lot of 4 and 5X. And even, of course, we have the custom option of going up to a 6X width as well. So you also have the Miracle there, right?
I do.
So not a lot of people know about the Miracle, actually, I found, which I sell a lot of Miracles as well, personally.
Yeah, here's a Miracle. This is a 3X, so it's not a super wide one, but certainly a lot more flexible.
I'm just going to grab one to talk a little bit about it. One moment. Okay. So for those of you guys who haven't heard of the Miracle shoe, it is again built on 2007 last, but the difference is it's quite cut like Nova in my opinion, because it has the lower heel and it has the same kind of satin as 3007 and Nova. It's very smooth, but the padding is not only on the inner sole here, it's also in the box of the shoe and in the very tip of the shoe too. And that kind of padding is also available in Dream Point 2007 pre-arched, Super Triumph and Super Triumph pre-arched. However, in those models, they don't have what Miracle has, which is the padding all in the box there, as you can see, which is really nice. So some dancers actually can wear this without the any padding, I found, because of the amount of padding in the shoe. Also, the platform feels like Nova because it's very, oh, hang on, sorry, give me one moment. For some reason, someone's trying to ask me something.
And now's a good time.
Oh my God, I'm on a live stream.
She's so sleepy.
Oh, sorry about that. So yeah, I found that some dancers can wear this shoe without padding because it's just so padded already. And also what's different is the shank. It comes in light, medium or light hard, and it's very generous, as you can see. It's got a very good flex there and a really lovely roll through. So personally for me, it's another one of my top selling shoes. And the vamp height is slightly lower, by the way, ever so slightly, with a more deeper U-cut vamp here. So tell us a little bit more about the fact of like now with coronavirus and everything, are you doing mail order? Are you doing any like virtual fittings or anything like that?
Yes, all of those things. So we have a hot pink sign on our door that says we are closed by order of the governor until the 30th or further notice, whenever that comes along. And we've been keeping busy. We're getting all kinds of new merchandise in, getting ready for fall. So we've been busy working in the store. But our website is up and running, and
Fantastic.
Website is boucou.net, BOUCOU.net, and you can check on there. You can call us. We're happy to be your personal shoppers and go around the store. We can FaceTime, we can text you pictures, we can do whatever to get you. If you're here locally in our area, you can come do curbside pickup. So we'll run it.
Oh, that's really cool.
And you can even request that if you place a web order. If you're not talking to us in person, you can request that. That's on our website to do that. And we are doing virtual fittings. We prefer that, you know, obviously that's for somebody who's already in Pointe shoes. We don't want to tell you.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
That would not work. But this is a great time because we have time. We'd be glad to spend time with you, and you know, we can FaceTime. We can see what's happening with your shoes. Work with you one-on-one. We can do that just like we would in the store. See you getting
absolutely.
See what's happening with your shoes. And, you know, we have a wall of fitting aids to make shoes fit better, or we can look at what's happening and see if we need to do a size change for your current shoe, or see if you're not getting totally over your box, or we have maybe a different shoe that we could work with. So we'll be glad to work with you if we need to, whatever we can do for a virtual fitting, or let you even come, you know, pick up a couple pairs of shoes and slip them on.
That's a really good idea, actually.
Amber waved in the comments. Hi, Amber.
Hi, everyone that's just joined, by the way. So let's plug your social media as well. By the way, you guys, give Bou Cou a follow on Instagram so you can keep in contact with all the latest news. I'm just going to try and type it up one moment. Oops. Well, hopefully you guys can see her handle, I hope. Obviously on my screen I can't see it because I'm doing the actual stream, but after this ends I'll whack it in there as well and put it on the social media pages so you can go follow her. She also has Facebook as well, don't you?
I'm sorry, what?
You have Facebook as well, right?
We do have Facebook as well, yes.
Fantastic.
In fact, each of our locations has a separate Facebook page.
Oh, so cool. Handy.
You can like any or all of them, but it's most helpful if you like the one in your area. So
of course.
If we have a specific event, you know, or an hour's change or something going on for your store, you can see what that is. So we have Bou Cou Fort Walton Beach, Bou Cou Montgomery, Bou Cou Andalusia, and so find us there. And then our Instagram is Bou Cou _Dancewear. Bou Cou, B-O-U-C-O-U. It's short for Boutique Couture. B-O-U.
Ah, that's really cool. I love it. So when we're like back to normal, what are your kind of opening hours of your stores? Do they vary, or are they set?
We're pretty much open 10 to 6, 10 to 5 on Fridays and Saturdays. Always available at other times by appointment. And at recital time and back to school time, we also open up on Sunday afternoons, so we try to make it as convenient as possible.
Oh, nice.
I actually do lots of Sunday afternoons, people coming in from out of town for Pointe shoe fittings. It's a nice time. The store's, you know, not open to the general public, and whether it's one family or a group of families from an out-of-town studio, it's just a really great time to get together and be able to spend some time and a really personalized shopping experience.
Definitely.
do you have anything to add to this? I'm going to ask you some more questions in a moment, but I don't want to go on in case you've got some other bits you'd like to add personally about your stores and the kind of services that you offer.
All right. Well, one thing that we do is if you do get your point shoes from us and you would like us to sew them, that's a free service that we offer. That's why we have a sewing machine here. All of our stores have a sewing machine.
Oh, love it.
It's very important that you, the dancer, know how to sew your shoes. All right. But we know it's time consuming and we're always happy to do that for you.
I do that as well. I get so many people that are like, oh, can you do it? And I'm like, well, if you really need me to, I'll do it. It's great to offer that.
We're really fast. We know at home, you're on the couch watching TV, it can take you a couple of hours to
yeah, sure.
We have them done in 5 minutes, you know.
Amazing. Love it.
So that's one thing we do. The other thing we do, my background is as a fashion stylist and working with people in couture clothing and helping them look their best. And so I have taken that now into the dancewear world. So whether you're needing a competition costume or a tutu for YGP or a great leotard because you're auditioning for a summer intensive, we can help you find the one that is going to show off your lines best.
Oh, nice.
We also do ballroom costumes.
Oh, wow.
So sometimes we take something stock and bling it or modify it. And sometimes we start from scratch and make things. And so that's I don't know, that's one of the things I really enjoy doing. I wish I had more time to do it.
Sure.
But we do that for people. We have a workshop and in both of our main shops where we can do that for people. And we even do free alterations on the things we sell. So if you need your jazz pants hemmed or your dress shortened or your leotard straps taken up, we do all of this for free. If
oh wow, fantastic. Great
We're
service.
fast, so we can do that.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Someone's just asked a question. Do you ever do fittings in London? Well, obviously I'm in England. I live 30 minutes from London by train and by car. So you can either come to me, but yes, I do travel to London every week when we're not in coronavirus. And I dance in London myself. So you can always meet up with me in London. I actually travel to studios directly as well. So feel free to contact me on social media about that and I'll be happy to help you out.
We should go to London. Yeah.
You should come, definitely. Have you ever been to London before?
I have not. My daughter has.
Oh, cool. Do you ever travel for Pointe fittings yourself? Like, do you go out of your store to studios or anything like that?
Yes, we certainly do. We like to do those at times when our store isn't open so we can take a maximum amount of inventory with us, but we'll load up all of our shoes and accessories, even the sewing machine if you need us to sew the shoes, and we'll go out to studios and do group fittings. But when we say group fitting, just so you know, we're not fitting everyone at once. I usually take one or two other people from the shop with me so that we are, so we can get through even a large number of dancers in a relatively short period of time.
Oh, wow.
But we love being able to do that. We know sometimes it's harder to travel. We have people that come for more than 100-mile radius around, especially our Montgomery store, to come visit us. But sometimes it's easier if there's, a whole group going on Pointe in the studio or everybody.
Of course.
Time. It's easy for us to come to you.
Yeah. So what's the furthest you've traveled to do fittings, would you say?
Columbus, Georgia is 100 miles. They're a little bit more.
Cool.
Maybe a little bit farther than that. Birmingham, certainly, that's 90 miles. So certainly within that 100-mile we do.
So with regards to fittings, of course, do you sell like all the accessories to go with it? Everything that the dancer needs, possibly?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Lovely selection.
Yes. So we make
Fantastic.
Sure if you're getting your pointe shoes, that you've got your ribbons and elastic, your pads, your spacers if you need them, a bag to keep your shoes in to make sure they dry out in between
Oh,
wearing.
nice. I love the selection of colours of bags. Oh, and you've also got the drying inserts there, I see, as well. Those are super popular.
Yes, well, inserts as well. And we even, we do monogramming in-house. And so if you get a Pointe shoe bag from us and it's your first pair of Pointe shoes, we'll monogram it for you.
Oh.
I don't know if monogramming is big in England, but here in the South, we monogram everything.
Oh my God, it sounds, we get it, we get it a lot in like the competition circuit on like their costume bags and stuff. But apart from that, it's not really as huge, but I would love that. That's really cool.
We do. It's kind of nice, you know, on the little Pointe shoe bags. I think it just makes it kind
Yeah, it's nice.
special to have. But here in the South, we truly monogram everything.
So with regards to fittings, right? Can you ever remember a time where you've had like your most challenging fitting? And if you remember it, tell me about it. Let's hear about it, and let's hear about what you had to do to possibly create a fix for that.
Let's see, which of our most challenging fittings? Okay, they probably one of the most challenging was a girl who has beautiful archy feet, but truly does not pull herself up when she's in the shoe.
Yeah,
and
I've been
the
there.
longer the fitting goes on and the more tired the ankles become, the worse the fitting goes. And in fact, we quit and came back the next day and started in again from where we
Good idea. I feel you.
Challenging one. I've also had a dancer who was very, very sensitive and didn't like anything to really touch the back of her heel. Now,
oh, wow.
You know, once you put the ribbon and elastic on a Pointe shoe, it kind of snugs everything up back there. And,
yeah.
And I like the stretch ribbon, and I like things that will, you know, take some pressure off your Achilles tendon. But overall, your shoe is gonna fit.
Yeah.
Maybe a little pinch
Oh my God.
It's
reminded me of something actually. When you fit like first shoes, do you ever get like some typical kind of things like, so for me personally, if I'm fitting first shoes, I sometimes get parents that say to me, oh, it looks really snug, and I'm like, so I have to kind of teach them about, if it's a little bit too big, how the pressure is going to be on their toes, right? Yes. So it can be very interesting sometimes having to help them to understand. So personally, what I end up doing is putting a shoe that's too big on one of the dancers' feet and then a shoe that is correct size on the other foot, and get them to go up on point and show different angles to the parents so they can have a better understanding. Because I find that some parents will try, you know, and say to you, oh, it looks so tight, you know, and especially if they've not danced before, they don't understand that, right?
Yes, yeah, actually a shoe that's a little extra snug is much more comfortable long term than when where there's room to sink into that box. And
oh my God,
you're going to bruise your toenails and then you will lose them.
Well, it's like, for example, I sometimes get dancers come to me that have had shoes fitted elsewhere, and they've been put in such huge shoes that they've ended up adding so much more extra padding to try to help them get out of the pain. And that can be tricky, because then when you help them achieve the correct fit, they are very overwhelmed with that tight sensation, but obviously they understand that it feels better to them because they're not getting the pain anymore. But it is a surreal sensation for them to go from being in such a big shoe to a shoe that is the correct size.
Right. And I explain to the dancers that most teachers want them to have the minimal amount of padding that they can tolerate in the shoe. You don't want it to have so much, you know, you don't want to have two different, you know, like two gel pads down in there.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Movement of the foot in the shoe as opposed to being snugged up where you and your shoe are moving as one.
Absolutely. I always say to dancers that the shoe should fit to you, and you should be at one with the shoe, and it should feel like you're in charge of the shoe. It shouldn't feel like you're fighting against it.
Yes.
And before I was a fitter myself, I was fitted in so many shoes where I just didn't feel in control of the shoe at all. And it was difficult, you know, it was so hard to even progress in point work because the shoe just was fighting with me. And I always thought it was me. And dancers, if you're watching and you are struggling, please do reach out and go and get a fitting. Go and find a fitter, get reviews where you go. Like, you know, if you're in Bou Cou's area, go there, obviously. But be sure to don't like suffer in silence with your point shoes. Like, honestly, you should not be in agony.
Right.
Do you ever get dancers come to you that are like suffering and you sort them out?
Yes.
Yes.
And we, you know, I work with a lot of dancers who have had some kind of an injury. Sometimes it's dance related, sometimes not. Something, you know, we just have things that happen to our feet or ankle or knees or whatever. So I like working with them and making sure we get them in a shoe that will position them properly, so that they're not putting stresses on the wrong parts of their body and possibly re-injuring themselves.
Yes,
So
gosh, absolutely important.
Getting them set.
So do you ever get, for example, you know, when sometimes dance parents or they might ask you, oh, you know, what's the typical lifespan of a shoe? And you know, sometimes you're going to get dancers that do go through shoes quicker, and of course it also depends on how many times they're on point and everything like that. And sometimes, you know, they might say to you, oh, you know, how can I get longer lifespan out of my shoes? What do you personally suggest for that? Do you have any like tips and tricks that you offer them for longer lifespan and about looking after their shoes that you might want to share with our viewers?
Sure. Well, the first thing is make sure the shoes are completely drying out between wearings. You dance on point every day. It's great to have at least 2 pairs of shoes so that you can rotate your shoes.
Absolutely.
Shoes will dry out for 48 hours. Then the paste in the box should be totally dry and re-hardened again. And that's going to extend the life of the shoes. Plus, if you have 2 pairs of shoes and when it's performance time, you hopefully have 1 or 2 pairs of shoes that are ready to go. Something
yes, absolutely. Oh my God, do you ever get what I get sometimes where you get dancers that say to you, oh yeah, I've got this performance coming up, and you tell them to get extra, right? And then, oh my God, a couple of days before I get that email and they're like,
you don't have my shoe. Well,
and I'm like, and it's like panic stations. So guys, if you're watching and you don't know much about point or point shoes or what happens when you're coming up to performance or whatever you're going to be doing more point work, please take in mind that you may need to start rotating shoes. And you may need to get a spare on the go as well, you know, on the side, just in case, because so much can go, so much can happen. Your shoes can die, or, you know, you could steal something on them. I've had a dancer, you know, whose dog ate her shoes, you know, anything can happen.
It really can. Sometimes it's just that water bottle in your dance bag.
Oh God, yeah, that too. That is shocking.
And then we also will work with a dancer on learning how to, you know, to put some glue on the shoe and help to.
Yes, of course, I do that too. Do you guys use like shellac as well?
No.
Some dancers.
Yeah,
I
we
do.
usually go for point shoe glue or jet glue or things like that.
So for those of you guys that are watching that maybe don't know the difference between jet glue and shellac, jet glue is faster drying, so it's like a good instant fix, and you can apply it in the platform of the shoe, down the wings, on the shank, inside the shank, to where the common areas that break quicker for you. Have you got some there? Let's show these guys. Here you go. This is it. So this is a great fast fix. And the difference between that and shellac is basically French wood polish that you can get at a hardware store, and that takes longer to dry. I personally switch between the two. I've actually got a video on my YouTube about it, funnily enough. So if you head to my YouTube, which is straight to the point, I've got a video from a few years ago where I talk about the differences between those and how they can help you make your lifespan of your shoes longer. If you've not done it before, please get someone to help you, or please practice on an old pair, because it can go wrong.
Yes.
Less is more. You can always
yes,
add more,
yes, absolutely. Also, another cool thing that Nikolai does is you can get Tropicana paste for your point shoes as well. So if you're in a humid climate and you might benefit from that, you can add that in a custom order.
We're real excited about that option, and especially for our dancers who go off to summer intensives, because they need usually, you know, 4-8 pairs of shoes, and they may be in a very warm area. We have a lot of dancers that go down to Florida to intensives, or here in Alabama where it is so hot and so humid, and the shoes really do die a whole lot faster. So
yes, absolutely.
about a can of paste and being able to offer them something to extend the life of the shoes. You know, parents know it becomes quite an investment as the dancers.
Oh God, yeah.
We're really hard on making sure they know you know, how to care for the shoes and how to make them
yes, it's so crucial, right? I mean, I get dancers come to me and they say that having a fitting, you know, is not just having the shoes fitted, but you know, I also, like you, I offer an education in everything to do with the actual point shoes. I think it's really important because, you know, I know that you can always go on the internet, but the problem with the internet is there's so much different information. It can really confuse people and also end up them ruining their shoes because they don't know what to do to suit them, right?
Yes, I've seen a lot of brand new shoes come right back to me because they did something they had read on the internet to
oh
them.
Gosh,
totally ruined the shoes, and now we're
with regards to the jet glue, could you get that back a second?
Sure.
And just could you talk us through to show our viewers roughly where most people tend to place it, if that makes sense?
Yes. Let's see. I'll hold the shoe and you hold the glue.
I'm gonna try that way. All right. So,
usually, I wish I had a dead shoe in my hand. Obviously, I don't have.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Anyway.
Would you like me to hold the dog?
Sure.
All right. Here,
Velma, go see.
Aww.
We'll do a little.
There we go. Now I've got a pup and a phone.
All right. So usually what we're going to do is we're going to try to reharden the box a little bit and also reharden in the shank area. And so sometimes by the time the shoe has been worn, it may be kind of coming apart back here anyway. And we can kind of get in between the layers of the inner sole and the shank and get some glue down in that area. Wherever that shank is bending from the arch of the dancer's foot is one place that I put it. Then also if the box is really soft, then I'm wanting to get some down in here. But this is where you need to be careful. I've seen girls just kind of dump the bottle of glue. And you get stalactites kind of, and it gets really rough. That's the thing you have to also watch, is because it gets really rough and then you don't want to put your foot in there. But you can harden along the box and down in there, and you want to try to keep it on the inside of the shoe, not on the outside.
Of course, absolutely.
And is there anywhere else that you put on yours when you're doing
Sometimes I do. So another good thing is, if, for example, dancers that are watching, if you kind of know roughly where your shoe is breaking down for you, then you're going to know the hot spots. Sometimes on my own shoes, where my arch breaks, which is usually about here, I will do on the outer sole as well, and it just adds me a little bit extra time out of my shoes. But do try to learn from your own feet. That's one thing I would say, because every foot is different at the end of the day. And you might not need to do this, by the way. It's not a necessity thing, you know. So just learn from your own experiences. If you're new to point work, do not worry about this, because you won't know if you need it just yet until you've actually done point.
Yes. And you can always bring your dyeing shoes into us and we'll help you glue your first pair, because that way, if we have your broken down shoe in our hands, we know exactly where
That's a great idea.
To re-strengthen it a little bit, so we can definitely.
Also, I just thought of something else really interesting. So when you're doing a fitting, for those of you who are on point already, if you're going for a fitting with someone else, make sure you bring your old shoes with you, because it can teach us fitters a lot about you, and also teach us a lot about where your shoe is dying and how we can improve it.
Yes, I always ask dancers to bring the shoes. The first thing I look at is the wear patterns on the
Yes.
bottom, fully over your box. So if you're
Yes.
trying to dance on that back edge, then I look at where the bends are. And if you've been doing things to your shoes other than just having your feet in them, I will know.
Yeah.
You've been slamming these in the door, or pounding them on the driveway, or whatever else you do. Or
Yeah, right.
hand manipulation. I will know. So just be aware.
Just saw that Mr. Grishko waved on the feed. Hi, Mr. Grishko.
Oh, thank you, Tina. That's so nice. I wish you could read the comments like I can.
I really am fascinated by the level of service you offer. It's fantastic. I really enjoy the fine details that you go into like I do. It's so nice when you see dance stores, you know, have that passion still, because unfortunately, even in the UK, there are, you know, dance stores out there that have maybe lost a little bit of passion about what they're doing and the kind of services that they're offering. But also, if you're, you know, as a retailer, offering these extras is really beneficial. So if you're not already doing it, I would totally recommend offering all these little extras, because honestly, it makes such a difference to your business.
Yeah. Well, as I said earlier, we love fitting Pointe shoes. I enjoy the challenge of making the dancer dance her best in her shoes, look her best in her costumes.
Absolutely.
That's just part of it. We really do enjoy doing that and love to spend time with people and make it work.
Absolutely. Do you ever get dancers come to you that aren't ready for Pointe and they try to buy a pair of Pointe shoes?
Sometimes. Yes.
That could be tricky, right?
It's really, it can be very difficult because, and you know, I'll start to know right away because I'll ask them when they're at the bar. As I said, I have them come barefoot to the bar usually and kind of analyze the feet before we even put shoes on. If I ask them to stand in first position or step out to second position or do a grand plie, and they don't know what that is, I know we're probably in trouble.
Yes.
I've even had a dancer say to me, "Oh, we don't do that. We don't do anything at bar. We just get out in the middle of the floor and dance." And I think
you should have seen her face at
not
that.
very well. You don't.
Oh my.
Yeah, I hope they're not listening. Anyway, that's really scary to me because you
Yes,
do
very.
need to be prepared. You need to be trained before you are getting your Pointe shoes. I will say the majority of our studios do a really good job. They've got excellent teachers and they work with the students, and the students are working really hard, and they come to us and they're strong, and we put them in their Pointe shoes and they pop right up, and you know, and I'm so proud to see them in their pair of Pointe shoes. But then we have the ones that struggle and they have no flexibility to their feet and they can't straighten their legs, and they're over here at the bar and they're
I feel you.
up. And it's kind of scary, you know, the bar is not balanced. It's not pull yourself.
It is a worry sometimes. So also I was wondering, do you have any of your own personal tips or hacks for sewing Pointe shoes, or any little bits that we might not have covered with regarding that? Oh, your stream's gone. Oh dear. Can everyone hear me still? I think it's froze. Oops. Sorry guys, we have a little problem with the stream. One moment. I'm still here, but Bou Cou's has gone because it froze. One moment. Let's see if she comes back. Might be the connection. Fabulous. I'm glad you can all still hear. With regarding to me darning my shoes, do you know what? I'll probably do a YouTube video for that, or I'll do an IGTV stream. Well, actually, I'll probably do an Instagram stream for it. There's many ways to darn them, but I'll try to do a video for each method of darning because I know it's been a popular request. So I definitely will do that. It's on my to-do list. And I'll also, if you guys are curious about the suede caps that you can get, or the cork ones from Nikolai, I've done a video on how to apply those as well. It's on my YouTube and on my IGTV. So feel free to check that out also. Let's see if Bou Cou's going to come back whilst we're waiting. Okay, I'm going to restart this feed. So give me one moment and refresh. I'll be back in a second.